Hey everybody, happy October! My name is Laura and today we are going to be making a spooky, scary spiderweb wreath that's just like this. Ooh, scary. So I hope you enjoy making it with me today and yeah, stick with me. Okay, so to get started with our spiderweb wreath, our spooky spiderweb wreath with awesome scary spiders on it, we're gonna have our kit right here and we're gonna open it up. And kind of dump out everything that's in there. All right, so you will have your embroidery hoop. So that's what this is. This is typically what you would use for embroidery, but we're gonna use it to make our wreath today. And we're also gonna have our spider webbing so that we can make our spider web, obviously. We have 2 pieces of ribbon. One is longer than the other, so just keep that in mind on whichever one you're using at the time. We have a bag of spiders, and we also have some black paint and a sponge brush. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to take our embroidery hoop and we are going to paint it black just by stroking this black paint on with our sponge brush. But you probably already know what that looks like or how to do that. So I am not going to show you how to paint, but I already did paint this one ahead of time. So and just as an FYI, so this little thing up here is what tightens it or loosens it. So if you're actually using it as an embroidery hoop, you want it pretty tight so that your fabric doesn't move around. But today we are going to loosen it up as much as we can so that we can get that middle hoop out. So that's actually how you're gonna paint it. You'll take that out, paint the whole thing, paint your outside hoop too, and then you will be ready to go. So just let it dry before you come back and start to work on this. So I'll fit as much of it in the screen as I can, and hopefully you'll be able to see everything. So, okay, so we have our flat painted, or our painted inside hoop. So we're gonna take our spider webs now and we're gonna try and we're gonna succeed at placing this inside of our inside of our embroidery hoop. So you'll notice it's got like a lot of little strings in it. You're just gonna pull those apart because those are gonna be very condensed. So if you're doing it, you probably don't want it to be thick. So we're gonna try and just pull that apart so that it looks pretty spider webby. You're probably gonna have extra. Feel free to use that however you like to decorate. It is very sticky, so we're just gonna pull it. It doesn't matter how much is on the edge or outside of it because we're just gonna cut that off. So and if it's still a little bit like not quite tight enough, that's okay. We can tighten it up before we cut off extra. Okay. So now I've got it sort of stretched out over my hoop and it's completely covering my hoop like that. And I'm going to put my upper hoop on there, and again, so we're just gonna lay that on here and we're gonna tighten this. But before you tighten it too much, you can always pull through the back, if you've got parts that are sort of bunched that you don't want, like say this right here is a little on the thick side for me. So I'm gonna pull it through a little bit while my hoop isn't quite so tight. And once you've got it kind of looking how you want it to look, you can finish tightening this so that your spider web doesn't really pull anymore. And then you can flip it over, and you'll see that it's sort of coming out the back. So I would take a really good pair of scissors. If you have fabric scissors that you just use for fabric, I would use that. But any pair of scissors will work, just be patient. Okay, and you're just gonna cut along the edges. Okay. All right. So it's a little hard to see from this side, but you can see that I have my my spider web all done. So now we can start adding our spiders and see where we want our spiders to sit. So you are going to have 3 different sizes of spider, and you are going to have spider webs stuck to yourself for probably the rest of your life, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to open up my spiders and see what we have. Whoops, one made a run for it. So we have 3 different sizes. We have the bigger ones, I guess I should say. So those are kind of our medium-sized spiders, the ones that are really spindly. We have, and we have 6 or 7 of those. And then we have 6 of these little guys right here. And then we have 3 of the big guys. So the thing about the big guys is they will not just like sit on your spider web. They won't do that because they're too heavy. So these are gonna kind of go around the edges. So, and they're gonna be sort of like the anchors. I'm gonna do mine sort of on the side of my spider web over here. So I'm not gonna have spiders all over my entire thing. So I'm going to sort of position these because I'm going to glue these on here on the edges of my spider web, so that they stay, for one thing, but because again, it's too heavy to hang on that spider, or on that spider web. So then I'm gonna start placing my skinnier guys. I recommend just placing these first to see how you like it before you glue or try and attach to the spider web, just because the spider web is very sticky, and it may start to loosen it up if you are adding flying spiders. It's terrifying. So I'm gonna stick one over here, over here. You don't have to use all of the spiders either. You can use as many as you like, just depends on what you like. So I'm gonna use just 6 of them. Now I'm gonna place my little guys on here. These will stick to the spider web. They just don't have like a hook or anything on them, but if you kind of wiggle them in there, they will stick. All right, so I like the way that looks. That's what I'm gonna work with mine. And so I'm gonna start by hot gluing on my bigger spiders. So again, you might want to probably have a hot glue gun. You can use tacky glue, which is like the Eileen stuff that goes in the like or that's in like the little gold bottle if you want. It'll just take a lot longer to dry. So just, you know, keep that in mind. So I'm gonna put some glue on the bottom of my spider. Again, hot glue is very hot, so try not to stick it to yourself like I just did, but you can absolutely get very dangerous burns if you accidentally touch, or on purpose, touch this very hot glue. So keep that in mind. Try not to touch it if you don't have to. It does also dry pretty quickly, so if you take too long, it will be too cold and it won't stick. So, and it does sort of leave these little stringies, so watch out for those. You can kind of pull them off though, but I'd wait till it's cooled off. And stick that right there. I'm gonna glue my little guys down. I can't help myself. I like putting things at little angles. So, you know, you can use your spiders can be marching in a straight line if you like, but mine will probably be a little wonkier than that. Again, this is a do as I say, not as I do, because I keep touching the hot glue, which I don't really want to do. A lot of crafters have no fingertips because of hot glue, but try and be careful with it because, you know, it hurts. It's not that much fun. These skinnier guys have sort of little hooks on them, and that's to attach them to the spider web. I'm gonna glue this one down because he's going on the edge right there. I guess everything's sort of glued. So now I'm gonna try and just sort of attach some spider web to that little hook right there and sort of just work him in to the spider web so that he won't fall off. All of these spiders are men apparently, according to me. And wiggled my little guy in there. Okay, so now when it's up, standing upright, none of my spiders fall off. But again, these little guys are a little heavy, so they might sort of drag a little bit. So I would put as many of those as you can on the sides. So, yeah. Okay, so now we've got that. So here comes the more decorative part. We're gonna flip this over. We have our, sorry, I keep checking to make sure that that they're staying on there. So we are going to add our ribbons. So we're gonna take the longer one. We have 2 different lengths of ribbon here. We're gonna take the longer one, and that's gonna be the loop for our, to hang it from. So I'm actually sorry. The longer one is gonna be your bow, and then the shorter one will be your loop. So I'm gonna loop this like this, and I'm going to glue my 2 pieces together. I'm gonna tap those together so that I'm not touching this hot glue. And then I'm going to stick this through here, and I'm gonna pull it through like that. And I'm going to, so it's like this, add just a little bit of hot glue back here, and then attach it to the back side so that now it has our little hoop to hang it from. So now I'm gonna make a bow. This is gonna be a pretty plain bow, but I'm gonna make a knot in the middle just because that's how I know how to make bows. If you don't make them differently, you can do that. But this is what I'm given, yes. So I'm gonna make a knot in the middle-ish. Move that over a little bit. Okay, got my knot there. So I'm gonna make my bow and just tie it around just like you would a regular bow. It's not like you're tying your shoes. Just be a little more careful on how you place it. So I'm gonna pull that through a little bit. And then I'm gonna make sure my loops are pretty even, sort of holding it in the middle. And then I'm gonna check my tails. One of them's quite a bit longer, so I'm gonna trim one. I like to trim it at an angle. It looks nicer and also doesn't unravel that way. So I've cut that. Spiderwebs everywhere. All right, and now I am going to apply my bow. I guess I should have put it right here. I'm gonna kind of stick it both places, I guess. Oops. Try not to get it on the top of your bow, because otherwise you'll be able to see it. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with that. So now, let it dry for a second, and I keep touching glue, so that's very smart. All right, and so now your spiderweb wreath is all finished. You can make any adjustments you like. The nice thing about this is until you start hot gluing, basically you can redo it if you like, if you don't like the way your spider webs look or anything like that. And then you can just hang it on your wall however you like with your decorative hanger. So I hope you enjoyed making this spiderweb with wreath with me, and join us next time when we'll be, we've got, I think it's Starry Night, so it's a paint by number. But if you would like to show us your super awesome creations, because I love to see what you guys make, you can email us at emaillibrary@avondaleaz.gov, and I will put that up on the screen so that you can see it too. Please feel free to email us pictures of any of your projects that you've made. We love to see them, and because you guys are all so creative, and I like seeing the different kinds of things you make and how you put your own spin on things. So please feel free to email us. Again, it'll be up on the screen for you to see. So thank you so much. I hope that eventually you are able to uncover yourself in spiderwebs, because I know it's probably going to take me a little while. Enjoy your spiderweb wreath and this spooky season. All right, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.